Alright, for this project, this is AutoCAD Project 4. We're going to look at creating this object here, which is kind of kidney shaped. It's just really a series of circles or arcs that you end up trimming out. And so again, the tools that we're really trying to learn with this project are our line type tools, our dimensioning, and then our circles and trim feature. So to do this drawing, what I want to look at first is just center points. So when I see a bunch of circles, I always try to identify center points. For instance, I have two circles down here. Both the center points are right here, which means they are 30 millimeters from this point right here. So you can see that lines up perfectly right there. And then we have a couple more circles. We have this R40 and R60. Their center points are going to line up directly with these three center lines. Then we have this R20 and the R77.5. Those are going to line up based on this right here. Again, if you don't see a direct center point, you need to assume. And the assumption is pretty clear with all these. The only one that's kind of difficult is this R10. The R10, you can see this circle here, and if we try to really map this circle, we can see the center point should be along this line. And you can see it goes from this point to this point, so that means 10 millimeters from this point here to this point here should be our center point to create this circle right here. The first thing we need to do is map out these three center lines, so we're going to do that first. So I'm going to go into my AutoCAD, start a new drawing. The first thing that you should make sure you do is set up all your layers. So I've gone ahead and set up construction layer that's yellow, dimension layer that's green. My construction layer does have the hidden lines or the dotted lines. The rest of the layers all have object lines. So I'm going to go ahead and start out on my construction layer. I'm going to use a line. Go ahead and find a point, and I'm just going to draw this point up. I know the longest line is roughly about 100, so I'm going to do 150 just to be safe on this. 150, enter. I'm going to zoom in this. I don't see my dots. I know it is a dotted line, so I need to go ahead and do LT scale. That's going to change the scaling of that line type. I'm just going to do 10. 10 looks actually pretty good, so I'm going to stick with that. Again, if you're not sure, just change it up. See what looks good for you. If I had 50 on this, you can see that's a little too much. So I'm going to go back to 10. That's looking pretty good. Now, the next line, I'm going to go from that same point. I'm going to go 150 again, but this time it's 30 degrees from this line. You can see right now it shows that that is 122 because 30 degrees is actually on the right-hand side. Again, you have to think of this always as a protractor. Protractor is 0 to 180. So my 0 is over here, my 180 is over here. So this actually would be, you can see that protractor right there working out. So this would actually be 120 degrees, would set me 30 degrees from here to here, which is perfect. And then my last one was 90 degrees from this line to this line, which means I'm going down here, I have 150, tab, and 90 degrees from there should be 150. Right, yeah, 150. Enter. So that should give me 90 degrees there, 30 degrees there. Alright, so now we go ahead and start drawing our circles. I'm going to draw these bottom two circles first. So I got R30 and a 15. So I'm going to go ahead and use a construction line, another one right here, and I'm just going to go down 30. That's the center point for that circle. Go ahead and change my layer. There we go. There's the first circle. And then I have another one that has a diameter of 15 right here, so that means its radius is 7.5. It's going to look just like that. Okay, then I have these two R40 and R60s. Let's go ahead and draw those in. R40. And I have 60. And you can see that 60 rolls into that bottom piece, which is exactly what we want to have happen. then we have from our 40, we have these two other circles, 7.5. So that means if I do an actual circle here, I can do another circle at 47.5, and then another inner circle here, which would be 40 minus 7.5, which would be 32.5. So I'm going to do 47.5. Do one more at 32.5. Alright, now that I have those, I can go ahead and do those two circles, the 7.5. So I'm going to do that one is going to intersect right here. I'm going to turn my snaps off. There we go. Right here, and that's going to be 7.5 millimeters on the radius. And I have another one, which is going to intersect right here. 7.5. It's looking pretty good there. I have another circle here that has a radius of 20. There we go. So you can see that's going to be that circle there. And the last one I have is this one of radius of 10. So what I have to do for that one is I actually need to go ahead and draw a line right here going along this path, 10 millimeters. Good, and you can see that line. Let's go ahead and do that again. It didn't quite put it right where I wanted it, so I'm going to do from there, I'm going to do 10 tab at 120. That way it's directly on there. Here we go. So now we're going to do that circle, smack it on the end of that line, radius of 10. You can see that lines up perfectly. Alright, so all the circles are done. Now it's a matter of just trimming out everything, and this is where being able to visualize this really comes into play. It may take you a couple times to see this, but once you see it, you'll understand exactly what we're trying to do. So we're going to go ahead and start hitting trim. We're going to trim out the parts we don't need. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need these pieces here. Put these little lines in here. There we go. Don't need that piece or that piece. I also don't need this little 10 millimeter line anymore, or that little line there. Don't need that, that, or that. There, there, there. Like I said, you can start to see the whole thing really starting to come together now. We have this line here, 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 and here. Don't need that one, don't need that one, that one or that one. And we end up getting that whole kidney shape. Now the only thing we have left to do is go ahead and change this line to a construction line. And then we go ahead and put on our dimensions. Okay, which we've done that several times, so I'm not going to do that step for you, so you guys should be able to identify dimensions at this point and place those on, but you do understand now how to create this drawing. Again, it may take you a couple times of trying this, but once you kind of get the hang of it, you'll understand how to create these circles and use that trim feature a little bit better.